Welcome back to another week of Instigating with Clarky and Drury, our final regular episode for 2022. Can you believe it, Clarky? It's unbelievable. We're brought to you, as always, by our friends at Coolbet Canada, Listowel Squash Courts, Listowel Vision Care, and See the Game. Thanks again to our great sponsors for another fun year here. And Clarky, yeah, it's unbelievable. 2022, it's almost over, man.
Wow, it is unbelievable. And it's going out like a lion, I guess we could say. We're supposed to get pounded by snow this weekend. Christmas Day, we're going to wake up to a blizzard. It's going to be, hopefully Santa will make it through, but I believe he will. It's been a fun year of instigating, hasn't it? We've had some fun this year, and we're looking forward to 2023 to have more fun.
We have had fun. Yeah, it's going to be pretty nasty all across basically the bulk of the province. This airs, of course, Friday night, and of course on Sunday nights as well. I mean, stay in and watch some instigating. I would recommend
That's
not
right.
traveling, obviously, and hopefully it's going to be okay. I guess the bigger concern, it sounds like, is the wind.
Yeah,
with potential power outages. So hopefully it doesn't get too bad, because you want to be able to get the turkey in the oven and have power for Christmas. But hopefully everybody's stocked up and is going to be all right. Speaking of being stocked up, are you stocked up on New York Rangers gear? Because if our viewers and listeners remember,
come on,
last week you had to make room. We set aside a segment for your son-in-law, Ryan Duck, to come on here, a big Rangers fan, and you guys had a bet the game that night, Rangers-Leafs. The Leafs lost the Jimmy VC Revenge Tour, 2 goals, and Igor Shesterkin stoned you guys, and you said you'd wear a jersey for the whole show. It's the top of the show.
Okay, but come on. Like, the Leafs, 18 games or 16 games in a row, and they lose one game, and I get punished? One game, and
You took the bet. This was your doing. You wanted this. You wanted the segment.
I got it.
Let's remember that.
I'll put it on.
There it is. Wow. Sharp looking jersey too, eh? We just got to get like a Drury on the back of that. That would be the only thing missing. There he is.
There we go.
There we go. Hope Why don't you stand up a little bit? Let everybody see the logo.
No, you saw it.
Yeah.
You saw it.
No. There it is.
Kitchener Rangers. Right across.
No.
Nice Kitchener Rangers.
Yeah, with an NHL emblem.
Now, let me tell you something. Let me just tell you something a little bit about the Rangers. And this is why I don't have a problem wearing this jersey. Okay. I would never, ever, ever take a bet to have to wear a Montreal Canadiens jersey. I would never wear it. I'll never wear one. Yeah. But the Rangers, I'll tell you, I once wore a Ranger hat, New York Ranger hat, proudly. And I went to Madison Square Garden and cheered for the Rangers twice. Because a friend of mine played for the Rangers. Mark Osborne. I grew up with Mark, and then he became a Leaf like 3 times. He was traded to Toronto. But when Mark played for the Rangers, I went down there with a buddy, and we actually went to 3 games in 4 nights. They played twice at home and once in New Jersey in 4 nights, and we went to all 3 games. The unfortunate part is, and I'll never forget this story. It was back in the I guess it was probably late 80s. But we flew from Buffalo to New York on an airline called People's Express Airline. And it was $33 to fly from Buffalo to New York. Okay. $33. Ozzy told us once we get off the plane, we got to go to, I don't know, some bus terminal, and we're going to take a bus to Coscob, Connecticut. That's where he lived. Coscob, Connecticut, about 45 minutes north of New York. The bus cost us $60. So we took a plane for $33, and we jumped on a bus, and we took it up, and he met us at the bus station in Coscob, Connecticut. We get off the bus, me and a buddy we both know Mark pretty well. We get off the bus, and Mark is there with a cast on his foot and crutches.
Oh no.
He broke his foot 2 days earlier in a fight. And Mark didn't fight that much, but he broke it in a fight. So we spent a great 4 days with Mark, went to the games, but didn't get to see him play because he was injured. But I sat beside, and I'm sure you must know, Carol Alt, movie actress. She was married to Ron Greshner of the Rangers, and that's who we sat with. And my one-time brush with greatness, Ryan, I got in the elevator at Madison Square Garden with Christopher Reeves, Superman.
Oh, wow.
I kid you not. Yeah.
Incredible stuff.
I kid you not. So that was my one time going. Well, I went to 2 games at Madison Square, but so the Rangers sort of had, a little bit of, okay, I would put on a Ranger jersey, not a problem, but I would never put on a Montreal Canadiens jersey. So here it is, when my little grandson Riker, there's a great picture of Riker right there with his Leaf hat on. Isn't that great right there, that picture of Riker?
When Riker a great was pick. On the show. Yeah. I know why you're doing this. So, I mean, geez, Ryan, I'm sorry.
Isn't that nice? Look at that.
Yeah, good looking kid. I don't know about the attire, but
he came to visit me today at the dealership at Larry Hudson's and had his helmet on. So
this might be the most long-winded way of saying I lost a bet that I've ever heard. I mean, you could have just
I told you guys,
get to the point,
you guys were like all over me last week, like the Twitter, the sweating and I'm like, guys, it's okay. Well, it's okay. I get it. And as I told you, I thought they were actually going to lose. I told guys at work that I thought they were going to lose the game, but they can't win every game. They can't. It's never happened.
No, they can't. But but they could have won that one, and
they could have. So. And then they lost.
I should have bet you. I
could have like half the game. I could have worn Capitals jersey. No, I wouldn't have done that either. But no. Yeah. So there we go. I got it on.
Well, there you go. Yeah, no, I'm not going to bet you stuff like that. I don't need non-believers wearing my team's jersey.
Exactly.
That's not what we
right.
do.
That's
right.
That's
not what we're all about.
Yeah.
Speaking
how can you go against that? Like how can you look at that?
It's as convincing as it gets. I'm still not going to be a Leaf fan, but if anyone could talk me into it, it might be Riker, but I'm not going to do it. So that's just too bad. Yeah. Speaking of really quick, and you teased me at the end of last week's show about it, obviously, because by that time he'd done it, the Big Cat 800. Wow. I really I feel lucky. Before we dive into some of our best of clips for the year, including we're going to end it with I think the best rant of the season, Clarky, and you took ownership of that. Pens were flying, some wood splinters. A dent in a desk. We'll tee that up, but I do want to make a little room now to just talk about the Big Cat 800 for Ovi, third ever. I mean, by the time this airs, he still hasn't done it as we record this on Tuesday, but by the time this airs, he'll probably have tied or passed Gordy. It's incredible. I never thought I'd live to see somebody score 800, let alone come close to Gretzky or Gordy. I feel lucky. Yeah, it really is something. And I think people now, maybe don't appreciate as much him and Sid, the two of them coming in after that lockout. Like those two guys saved the NHL. They really did. Like the NHL would not have recovered. It would have come back. There you go. Okay.
I forgot you.
That's
gave
good.
Me a hat too.
I appreciate that. But the NHL would not have recovered as quickly as they did and be in as financially good a position without those two guys. They carried the mail for a long time. And to see both of them achieve what they have and now see him score 800, it's him and two other guys. Like it really is incredible. So props to really good stuff. Let's start digging into some of these clips. Obviously, the first one here, we're just going to play a little highlight pack here of our show that we did just before the Masters with our buddy Ian Doig, who recently had a successful operation. He posted on Facebook after his surgery. He had a heart surgery. It went well. Doigie, we love you, buddy. You're going to be back on the show really soon. We wish you a speedy recovery. We spent a great day down at the Sim with him at the Sim bar and golf simulator. It was a really fun day. He was giving you some golfing tips, and you guys played a little closest to the pin competition here. I know producer Adam's got it teed up, and you actually, if memory serves, Clarky, you won the closest to the pin.
I don't know. Not when we were on the air, Ryan. I don't know if you remember afterwards, but I was so determined after that I took about 100 more shots, and I got within 9 inches once to beat Ian for the night. But during the show, no, I did not win it. As far as I can remember, I didn't win it, but I did after. But you know what? Ian really helps my game. Like, there's no question. He is an unbelievable instructor. He's helped my game immensely. And he, near the end of this season, got another hole-in-one. And guess how many hole-in-ones he's had in his career?
Why did he not tell us that he had 2 prior to that? So does he not have 3 now?
He has 15.
Oh my God, 15?
He's nearly got a whole round of golf of hole-in-ones. Yeah, he's had 15 hole-in-ones. He had his 15th late in the season.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible stuff.
It is incredible. Yeah, 15 hole-in-ones. I've never had one. I've come close twice within like 2-3 inches. One was at Nobleton Lakes. Gosh, I
what
can't
was
remember.
it, like a par 3?
Wooden sticks. Well, yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then wooden sticks. I came close on what they call the replica of the postage stamp, which is a very, very tiny green in Ireland or Scotland or England. One of those courses over there where they play the Open. The postage.
Doigie would know.
Doigie would know, and I came very close on both of those holes. But yeah, it was he had 15 hole-in-ones. So Ian Doig Golf Academy is the way to go. And yes, very successful surgery. He was home. He had heart surgery in the morning, and he was home and posting on Facebook in the afternoon.
Yeah, he didn't find any room to post about the Leafs and how bad they play defensively sometimes. Which he's infamous for.
He is. And I was up there a couple weeks ago to his place. We spent
That's right.
Sue and I spent the night up there, and it was a great time. We watched the game. They lost in overtime. I can't remember who they played, but they lost in overtime. I think it was Tampa who they played.
Right, yeah. Again, that was
week.
During their streak where they didn't lose in regulation.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
There you go. We'll be back. I think we're gonna. We had talked with him. We're gonna plan on being back at the Sim either for the Masters or potentially one of the big opens. Masters probably, but we're gonna go back there because that was a really, really fun show. And speaking of this, is our last regular show.
You know what? I can't wait. I can't wait to bring Riker golfing. Like I'm gonna bring Riker golfing one day. That'll be fun.
We all love Riker here. Enough of the picture. It's all right. We've got it. All right.
It might come out a couple more times.
This is our last regular show. The show at the Sim, where you can see the whole thing, where Doigie actually gives a lot of really helpful golf tips, including to me, who I can't golf, but he is a great instructor. Like he makes everything make sense. Taught me how to hold a club properly. I've never been taught how to do that in my life. We are going to replay that show. We're going to show it again. One of the 2 weeks here during our holiday break. After this show, we're going to take a 2-week break and then come back feeling fresh for the new year. We're going to replay that one. We're going to replay our day as well at the Listowel Squash Courts, and we're going to see some of that show included in our little clip rundown here too. But let's move on to another one, and that's actually what we have teed up next. Your squash game with Alan when we spent a night over at the Listowel Squash Courts. And again, Listowel Squash Courts, go to their website. It's super easy to sign up. There's a bunch of different packages you can get. Alan, if you've never played before, Alan, our buddy Alan MacArthur over there, he actually has a lesson plan set up where if you're a new player, you can buy a package and he will instruct you and play with you and teach you how to play the game. It's like super simple to get into. And we had a great night there, including some of this. I know producer Adam's got this one teed up too. You actually decided to take on Alan, and this is how it looked.
Double.
Thanks for calling that. So it's a gentleman's game. That hit the ball floor twice, so it's my point. Some people don't call it, but you're supposed to.
Sporting, Clarky.
What's the score? 3-2?
3-2. Oh, sorry.
It's all good. 4-2, Ryan. Was that in your way?
Good game.
Could have been a call to let there. Went right through my legs, but I didn't want to move. Anyway, there's a little example. That's why he's at 28th, but he's going to move up. Just kidding.
Chirping.
He's the best owner of a squash court in Listowel.
Number one.
Alan MacArthur. He's the guy. Ryan, back to you.
Thanks, Clarky. All right, now that we've got an example of a game of squash, we're going to let Alan cool down after that embarrassing loss to Clarky. Yeah, and it was an embarrassing loss.
Why?
And I mean, well, and you could hear at the start of that clip, I'm sure, if you want to rewind on your PVR and turn the volume up if you missed it, Clarkie really huffing and puffing through that game. And he managed to.
I was down 2-0 in 1-5-2. It took me a little time to get going, but I was fine after that. Yeah, I'm in fifth right now, Ryan, just so you know. I'm in, or sixth, I think. So
there you go. Well, all right. So you're climbing the ladder.
Wednesday night this week, Chris Clark versus Steve Sabrin at the squash courts. If you want to go over, I know we're recording this a little early this week, Tuesday, but tomorrow night, 8:00, 8:15 game time.
Okay, yeah. So you're inviting me because our viewers obviously won't be there.
Yeah, you should come.
I might, because you know what? Because of this gnarly storm that we're apparently going to get slammed with, I might be heading to Kitchener tomorrow night being Wednesday as we record this, just to be there early because we don't want to get stranded. I do not want to miss out on Jim Kilgore's special Christmas pies on Christmas Eve. We eat Jim's homemade meat pies.
Yeah,
I'm not missing that. So we might head up there early and I'll finish my work week out there because I don't want to get stuck here. I'm actually supposed to call a Junior C game in Walkerton on Friday. Might not happen because I don't think that I'm going to be risking getting trapped in the Walkerton arena, the coldest arena around.
I played
for
there
Christmas with the power out. I'm not sleeping in a dark arena. So, yeah, apparently this storm's going to be really, really bad. But you know what hasn't been bad? This show this year has been really good. Why don't we take a quick break? When we come back, there's lots more to revisit, including one of my better rants from the year. We had longtime baseball scout and coach and instructor, currently out in BC, Tom Volk. We had him on, and I was ranting about the baseball owner situation. We'll revisit that next here on Instigating. Welcome back to the final regular season show for 2022 of Instigating with Clarkie and Drury, brought to you by our friends at Coolbet Canada, Listowel Squash Courts, Listowel Vision Care, and See the Game. Ryan Drury back here with Clarkie, revisiting some of our favorite moments from 2022. We already kind of look back at the closest to the pin competition when we were with Ian Doig, pardon me, at the Sim. And, obviously we send our well wishes to Doig. He just had a major surgery. We're going to be back there with him in the new year for sure. Revisited Clarkie's squash game with our friends at Listowel Squash Courts and the owner, Alan MacArthur, where Clarkie miraculously beat him. And then he chirped him at the end. That was gutless. Like the chirp at the end. He's 28. It was, I'm all here for a good chirp. Let's revisit one of the better guests. I had a really great time chatting with this guy, Tom Volk, who's been a long-time MLB scout, baseball instructor, coach, currently out in BC. At the time we were talking to him, I know his daughter's playing.
He ran the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame, I think, too, didn't he?
He did. Well, in the very least, he was on the board of directors.
Okay.
But he had a huge hand in running that. He was awesome. And I got onto a pretty good tangent with him where he kind of agreed with me just at the time we were talking about baseball owners and the economics of Major League Baseball and how screwed up it is. I'm still mad about it every time I bring it up. I'm salty because I'm an A's fan and they have the worst owner ever. I know Adam's got that teed up. Let's have a listen to my thoughts that I kind of directed to Tom and what he thought of it. What I struggle with, though, is I think that those two guys, Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins, are too married to that mentality that they were basically almost forced to have running Cleveland, because Cleveland is a notoriously cheap team and they constantly had to watch big free agents and big players leave that organization. And so they always had to go, okay, where's the next kid coming from? Where's the next guy that we can find? Whereas with the Jays, they're the third richest ownership group in Major League Baseball. They should not be worrying about stuff like that. And that was my problem with their trade deadline, Tom. And Clarkie, you know this too. Don't hold on to all these prospects just to say, look at our farm system. This team's supposed to win now. I don't care that Ricky Tiedemann might pitch for the Jays in 5 years. I couldn't care less. I want to still be playing games.
And we talked about Castillo.
All these guys.
We talked about Seattle. Seattle getting Castillo.
The reason that the Jays didn't get Castillo is because they didn't want to give up Gabriel Moreno.
Great. How did he do?
I think Gabriel Moreno is an incredible prospect.
Sure.
You have Danny Jansen and Alejandro Kirk. I don't care that you've got this incredible catcher.
I agree.
You got to. We're supposed to be winning now. And I think that they're so reticent to give up any high-level prospects that they go, oh, well, but if we give him up, we'll have our cupboards bare. Who cares? Alex Anthopoulos went all in.
Win.
And he didn't win. He didn't win the World Series. But everybody here still holds him in unbelievably high regard because they went, you know what? That guy went for it.
That's right.
He didn't win the World Series, but he went for it. And if anybody here would have said, oh, I can't believe they traded Gabriel Moreno for Luis Castillo, let's say, I would have been like, yes, let's go. 4 power pitchers. Come on. Yeah. And that's my problem with those two guys, Tom. I don't know what your thoughts are.
No, I mean, they've made, I'll give them credit. When they signed Ryu, and again, he's Tommy Johning right now. He's slowed down. He's not looking so good. But again, back to the time they did it, I love that they got him. How about getting Springer? Straight after the who was the Yankees guy that won the batting title the year before? Lockyer.
Oh, DJ LeMahieu.
LeMahieu, thank you. Sorry. I watched that scenario and I'm thinking he is using the Jays and these suckers. And I was thinking about Atkins and Shapiro are actually believing he's going to come to Toronto. Of course, he used them in my mind to get more salary from New York, and he signed. And I thought, you two got duped. And then they signed Springer, and I thought Springer was doing the same thing. So I was wrong. They got him, and hats off to them for doing that one. They did, the Berrios. You can't blame them. He had pitched consistently for 7 years, and I think he's going to come back and make things maybe a little tighter in his windup and things to get back to a kind of a 13-9 guy in the future and get him what they want. Gausman obviously had a fantastic year, and so I don't say they failed at everything, but the stuff that's really anchors me with them is even when they come on, what's the first thing they did? They raised ticket prices. The Jays just and then of course Shapiro says this is the beauty. He said this in an interview, and it was one of the first times I heard him speak, so I didn't like him off the bat. He says, well, the fans kept saying to us after 16 or whenever they came in that they had a playoff contender. So, they were saying it. We didn't want to make them mad, so we didn't make trades then. Yeah. Bullshit. Since when do you listen to fans about whether you trade people or not? And then you go raising tickets. Did you ask the fans, how do you feel about raising tickets?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how he even let that come out because he's intelligent. He's been around. And then the same guy, Shapiro, said, what was the other classic? I can't think of it. They say, and Atkins is just like, can you walk the fence any
He's not the general manager. Let's be honest. He's the paper pusher.
They speak like lawyers. They do speak like lawyers. They still do. I'll say this. I mean, the Jays have had a pretty decent looking offseason as we sit here now on what's this December 20th as we record this. I mean, hey, big Oakland fan. I love the Jays too. Bringing in the Bassett Hound, Chris Bassett, to add to that rotation is awesome. Still not loving the potential of going back to the Yusei Kikuchi with Mitch
my God.
White.
If Yusei Kikuchi is back in this rotation, like what's going on? Like really? And like Bassett, I was listening to Mark Hebscher's podcast the other day, and he was going through
on Sports.
He was going through every one of Bassett's outings last year and length of games, and like this guy averaged the longest games in the major leagues last year. It seemed like this guy might be impacted big time by the pitch count. pitch clock. So we'll have to see how he adjusts to that. However, you know what? Like getting back to the whole Shapiro Atkins thing, these guys, I think, outsmart themselves at times. And that, like sometimes I think they sit back thinking, you know what, like maybe this isn't the year to make the run. The Yankees are looking good. And like just go for it. Just go for it. Like it just seems like Alex Anthopoulos, who obviously the Jays had in their grasps and let him go, and just does it year after year, just doesn't seem to care about the future because he feels he can correct a team if he wants to at any time because he's not afraid to make a deal, right, Ryan? He's not afraid to make a deal. And these guys
he's not afraid. No, he's not afraid to make a deal. But here's the thing, too, with the situation. And yes, some of these guys were already there in Atlanta. But look at the contracts that he has signed with these star guys. Dude, Ronald Acuna Jr., they've got him locked up $100 million for the next 8 odd years. It was a 10-year, $100 million deal. He's probably kicking his agent with studded cleats right now, but they got that dude locked up. He makes an aggressive move last offseason to bring in my guy, Olibom, Matt Olson. He's a Georgia Peach. He's from Atlanta. He's your first baseman for the next 7 years. He's one of the best power bats. Geez, how good would Matt Olson? I know they already got Chapman, but how good would the left-handed power bat of Matt Olson look in a Jays lineup that really, really needs lefty bats? No, I'm not saying they could afford it. That would push them way up into the tax, which they are technically over. They're in the luxury threshold.
Yeah.
And Ross Atkins said recently that they have no financial constraints, that they're happy to push further into it. They need lefty bats. Michael Brantley's off the market now. He's going to go back to Houston. Why wouldn't he? There's another guy off. So I think the two biggest things, and we talked about it last week with our buddy Rob Longley, the two biggest things they still need are versatility in their hitting lineup with some lefty bats that are actually decent. Because Raimel Tapia, God love him, not enough. They're going to have to go by way of trade to do it. And last week we brought up that Brian Reynolds is a guy that the Pittsburgh Pirates are happily shopping right now. And my God, if they could get Brian Reynolds, and Brian Reynolds is a guy that can play any of the outfield positions. If Gurriel's hurt, if Springer's hurt, he can go to left, he can go to right. He is a center fielder by trade. Kiermaier's hurt, he can go. I mean, it's one of those things where I think that they're going to have to go by way of trade for that. And then outside of that, the other big thing, obviously, is they really, really need some power arms in that bullpen because they don't have them. They don't have the big cannons over there. They need some guys in the bullpen that pitchers are not afraid to hit against, but aren't prepared to hit against. Because when guys are throwing 101, there's no good prep for that. Like it's hard to tee up 101, and they just don't have guys like that. So those are the two big things they need. Tom Balk was awesome. We got to get him on again.
Oh, he'll be on.
Right before baseball season starts, when we really have a good gauge of what the Jays are actually going to look like heading into day one. Yeah. Because he was awesome. He was such a good guest. And I mean, geez, Clarky, that guy's forgotten more about baseball than we'll ever know.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. No, Tom was a great guest. We'll have him on again. And, the Jays, with those guys running the show, I always just have that feeling that they're not going to do it. Like, it's sad, but I just always have that feeling in the back of my mind. These guys haven't proven anything to me that they can actually step over that threshold from very good to championship, and they need to do it. They need to do it.
All the poker chips are in. Yeah.
They need to do it now.
Now, I'll give them, and Tom did as well. I'll give them the credit. They make the big moves in the off season.
Yeah.
They get Springer. They get Barrios. They get Bassett. They got back. It all started with Ryu, who I know Ryu. It's the last year of his deal. He's going to be hurt for a long time. He's probably not going to pitch, which if he can come back and be somewhat healthy and be that 5 guy and not have Yusei Kikuchi ever touch the hill, that's a positive. But remember, like when they did sign him his first year, he would finish third in AL Cy Young voting. Like he ate a lot of big boy innings for the Jays on a team that was still finding its footing. So they'll do that. But in season, we all know this. What you look like on paper, it really doesn't matter come June when you're creeping up toward the start of activity with the trade deadline at the end of July. What you thought you looked like in March doesn't mean much necessarily in early July. And if they're kind of middling again and going on losing streaks, big winning streaks, the Jays had no consistency last year. They were red hot or they'd go ice cold.
Yeah.
And it was, and the bullpen was such a big problem with that. If their season looks similar at that time of year to what it did last year, they better go out and be aggressive. And look, I thought Anthony Bass pitched some good innings. I thought Zach Pop looked okay in spurts. I don't want to see another one of those. I need them to go out and get a big dog that can eat up batters in the 7th and 8th inning. If Romano's still saving games, no problem with that. But I need some guys with a bit of versatility because I look at their bullpen and pretty much go, all these guys basically look the same to me. I need a cannon. I
Don't disagree.
All right. Another big story this year, and maybe one of the worst ones that anybody in sports media has had to cover, was the Hockey Canada scandal. And it's still a big talking point. As we record this, news out that authorities are demanding that Hockey Canada turn over more evidence in relation to the 2018 sexual assault involving players in London that were on the 2018 World Junior team. There's 5 players. They want to bring charges. It's sounding like we might be getting closer to learning who some of these players were. And I think we should. I think Canadians, after being, subjected to some of the insulting language that we were given by Hockey Canada's then board and Andrea Skinner at the time during the hearings with the government, I think we deserve to know who was at fault here, because it was a huge thing coming out, the slush fund to cover up sexual assaults. More have come forward since then, but we had an opportunity to sit down after we talked to John Nader, who we've got a clip of here, our MP in Perth Wellington, who's on the Heritage Committee that was grilling Hockey Canada. We also chat with our friend Sam Chang, subscribe to their podcast, The Broadcast. It's one of my favorites, but we got a clip here chatting with MP of Perth Wellington, John Nader, on the Hockey Canada scandal. And we've got a clip right here. You bring up, the funding, and I think that was one of the things that added on to the heinousness of the allegations to begin with. Finding out that Hockey Canada essentially had a slush fund where they were using money that parents are paying into their programming for their kids. John, you've got kids. I'm sure they're going to be playing sports soon. I know I grew up playing sports. When you discovered that, did that take the seriousness of this to a whole nother level? Because I think a lot of parents and a lot of fans of the game, like myself, are very, very concerned with this.
There was a lot of anger about this situation before those allegations came out about kids' registration fees. And once those allegations the fact came out that the registration fees were being used to make payments of this nature, that anger just boiled over. And talking with community members, with different people across the country whose kids are in sports. My own son is in hockey. To learn that kids' registration fees are being used to pay sexual assault settlements, it just makes people's blood boil, and it causes a whole lot of anger, across the country that these funds are being used in that way. And frankly, the fact that Hockey Canada kept quiet about this, they were before the committee, they insinuated that they had some sort of investments that they liquidated to make this happen. Never once did they come before the committee and say that this fund was there or that kids' registration fees are being used to pay the settlement. They say they liquidated some of their investments. I think the assumption the implication is this some kind of corporate investment that came in and they liquidated that. But the fact that it was kids' registration fees being used to pay this, it was quite frankly unacceptable. And I think Canadians are not happy about that. And that's one of the reasons why we really need to see meaningful change at Hockey Canada's organization and a culture change within Hockey Canada.
And a change we're seeing, news breaking earlier in the week that they've got a temporary board that looks like it's going to be in place. Cassie Campbell-Pascal, one of the great women's players of all time, she's going to be part of it. They'll serve a 1-year term and then have a revote. But hopefully we're on the road to some meaningful change and people that are actually going to take some responsibility and run this organization properly.
Ryan, do you think it's going to taint the way you look at this year's World Juniors?
No, not this year's.
Yeah. I mean, last year's was goofy because they had to stop and they played it in August.
Yeah, they had to play.
I didn't get into it at all, but I
just think that it's not these current round of players. It's not their fault.
No.
The people at the top were this sickeningly unresponsible and irresponsible with funding. And the fact of the matter is they hid it. It's bad enough that they put funding, and I'm not going to tell how, an organization how to use their funds. I'd rather it not be for this. What is the onus on protecting these players? They're not under contract with Hockey Canada, but bad enough as that all is. It's the fact that they hid it and then they lied about hiding it. And that is not responsible. So I'll happily watch the World Juniors this year. I really hope that none of the players on the team do something so heinously gross as to sexually assault somebody. You'd hope that of anybody in society, I would think.
Yeah.
But I don't hold the failings of the people in charge at the feet or the skate blades of this year's World Junior roster. I'm going to watch and I'm going to cheer for Shane Wright. I'm going to cheer for Connor Bedard. I'm going to cheer for the OHL guys that I covered. Jack Mateer's going to be there. Like Ben Gaudreau. I'm going to be cheering for all those guys. I don't hold it against them. And God willing, hopefully they don't do something stupid that they have to try and cover up. But that story might be, for me, Clarky, in an obviously unfortunate sense, the sports story of the year. It really might be. In this country, I think it might be the biggest sports story of the year.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that and what happened, that it's a huge story. I think it's more of a news story than a sports story, but it is a sports organization.
I understand what you mean.
It's definitely a big story. No question about it. No question. But I think everything should be up front on it. I think we should find out who the players were. I think everything should be up front. I really agree. Do. Like, let's go.
Agree.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it sounded like we're getting closer to that. All right, we'll take one last quick break. When we come back, we'll kind of wrap up our thoughts for the year, maybe reflect back on some of our favorite moments. I'll begrudgingly, because I know Clarky doesn't want to talk about it, I'll begrudgingly bring up the World Cup final. Messi gets his due. And I think most people that appreciate soccer are happy about that. And like I teased at the start, we're going to play the King Daddy Topper rant. We're going to play the best one of the year, authored by one Chris Clark, coming up next on Instigating. Back to wrap things up on our final regular show for 2022 here on Instigating with Clarky and Drury. Ryan Drury, Chris Clark, back to wrap up what's been a pretty fun year here. Remember, over the next 2 weeks after this show, we're going to re-air some of our best ofs. We picked out 2 of our favorite shows. We're going to re-air Clarky and I visiting our buddy Ian Doig of the Ian Doig Golf Academy at the Sim Bar and Golf Simulator, leading into the Masters earlier this year. We're also going to revisit our night over at the Listowel Squash Courts, one of our great sponsors, with our buddy Alan MacArthur. Clarky beat him in a demonstration of the game. game. Remember, go on their website. It's easy to sign up. You can go on their Facebook page to do it as well. If you want to start playing squash, our buddy Alan will get you some lessons, get you all suited up and ready to play. We also appreciate our ongoing support from our friends at CoolBet. Make sure you use coolbet.ca for all your sports betting needs. The Bet Builder, I talk about it all the time. It's my favorite tool. I won some more scratch on NFL games this weekend. I love the Bet Builder on CoolBet and our friends over at Listowel Vision Care and See the Game.
I've seen some really wonky things happen in football, but the thing the Patriots did this past week,
I don't need to hear about this.
That was one of the worst things I've ever seen. Anyway,
it's one of the worst plays of all time. It really is. And it is. If you'll indulge me one last rant.
Yes.
I know that people don't want to hear this because as a Patriots fan, I feel like I have no leg to stand on. I shouldn't be ranting about anything. I had a 20-year run of really fun times.
You did.
Like, 6 Super Bowls, could have been 7 or 8, if not for what wasn't actually a catch, but it doesn't matter. I'm frustrated. Look, I went into the last 2 seasons, after Brady left, knowing like 3 seasons, forgot about the Cam Newton year. I wanted to blank that one out. But I'm frustrated because, look, last year with a rookie quarterback, and legitimately go look the stats up. I'm not trying to big him up or make him sound like he's insane. Mac Jones had one of the best rookie seasons for a quarterback of all time. He really did. And they got that team into the playoffs. The Patriots were a wild card team last year, and I went, wow, a wild card team. Yeah. How about that? With an awful offensive line, not very good offensive weapons, decent running game. I thought, wow, this could really be going in the right direction. And then Bill Belichick, who has some legitimate questions to answer after what's the debacle this year, brings back a guy who used to be his defensive coordinator, left to do a brutal job of head coaching the Detroit Lions. Then he brings Matt Patricia, Mr. Pencilier, back to be the offensive coordinator. And Mac Jones and the entire offense has taken a dramatic 2-step backwards. And it all encapsulated in what Jacoby Myers tried to do the other day, because they're undisciplined. The play calling is junk. Mac Jones is frustrated. It's brutal. They tried to get a guy who is a defensive specialist to call offensive plays for them, and it has gone about as badly as it could. They need to fire Matt Patricia. I appreciate everything he did over the years as a Patriots guy. That was so frustrating.
2 questions. All you can say is yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
Is Brady ever going to go back to the Patriots?
No.
Jimmy Garoppolo go back?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's move on.
I've
heard that rumor. Both of them. But anyway, let's go. They got to move on. They got to move forward. No.
Max, your guy.
That's right.
You can't do this.
Move on.
Tom Brady next year, San Francisco 49er.
All right. There you go.
He's going home. He's going home.
Okay. That was our version of the quiz.
Yes. I like that. We've been teasing this all episode. We've had some good rants on the show, and we're probably missing a few, but the show's an hour, folks.
Yeah.
This is the one that caught both our memories as one that needed to be revisited. As we all know, earlier this year in April, the Maple Leafs did what the Maple Leafs do. They make you think it's time, and then it just isn't. And the last grain of sand hit the pile at the bottom of the hourglass. But before the Game 7 loss, they had a chance to eliminate Tampa Bay in Tampa, and they lost, I believe, in overtime.
Hell yeah.
And on the way there were some controversial calls, some controversial non-calls. And here's what Mr. Clark had to say that night following the game. The Maple Leafs got tangled up in an overtime game as well, falling 4-3 to the Tampa Bay Lightning, who force a Game 7 on Saturday night. Clarky, you're decked out in all your regalia. You were watching at a friend's house. Break this down for me. Of course, I did not see the game. I just saw the goals and the highlights when I got home. tell us how you're feeling right now.
I'm feeling like two things. They're jinxed. They're never going to win. And the league's against them. There's no question in my mind. It's unbelievable. The call that was made tonight reminded me back to Doug Gilmour time and how the referees in a 1-goal game in game 6 of a series can call a phantom high stick is beyond me. That guy should not referee another game this playoff, like until the final, like at all. He should not do it. If you don't see a stick hitting a guy in the face, you can't call it. You can't call it. Like, you have to see the stick hit the guy's face. Like, you just can't make it up. You can't say, oh, I think that hit his face. And foot. Foot should be suspended. They got to start handing out suspensions for soccer-like plays. Oh, what do you mean the face? Oh,
Like you're referring to Cal Foot.
Yeah, Foot. I said Foot.
Yeah, Cal Foot. Yeah, like, of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
That shit has got to stop in this National Hockey League. Like, they're getting away with it. So why would they why wouldn't they just keep doing it? And that's what happens in soccer. Like, there's got to be someone upstairs who can see this and call it, because you can't have it happen.
Clarkie's upset. Yeah, I'm coming from this at a disadvantage because, unfortunately, due to my work covering the PGHL final tournament, I didn't get to watch the game.
Hey, hold on. Adam's got the play. Have you seen it?
I've seen the
roll it, Adam.
Question.
Let's roll this high stick.
Yeah, I've seen
kind
this.
Of small here, but
I've seen this.
Like, it hits his underarm and like missed his face by a foot.
Now again, yeah. Now again, Cal Inches, they should call him. I saw that, and there was a 5-on-3 that ensued off 2 high sticking minors within 16 seconds of each other. Within 16 seconds of each other, the Leafs were up 3-2 in the third at that point. Now, I don't wish to anger you further. I read on Twitter that the TNT crew had another angle that wasn't that one that showed it, that it did hit him in the face. I don't know if that's true because I haven't seen that.
Well, I don't know.
But that's what I saw people on Twitter and reporters tweeting that there was an angle where the stick hit him in the face.
If that's the case, I take it all back. But that angle right there was pretty darn clear that it didn't touch his face. So.
The other bad one that people are referring to that I'm sure you were eventually going to get to was Killorn.
Oh, yeah. Adam's got that too.
You know, horse riding.
Yep.
Austin Matthews.
Yep.
Which.
Watch this.
This is very bizarre to me that this isn't called. But this is look at this. This is really bizarre. He's flying around like
holding
kite.
His jersey for more than 5 seconds. No call. No call whatsoever.
I don't understand how that isn't called.
It is called. But the NHL wants as much revenue as they can get. A Game 7 in Toronto will make lots of revenue for a league who's missed a lot of time for COVID. So you know what? Let's look at that freeze frame, right? That last.
Yeah, he's pulling his jersey.
Not only that, look at the ref right there, 5 feet away.
Yeah.
I don't see anything. I don't see anything. It's okay. It's Toronto. They're just whiners and sucks up there. They'll complain about anything. And the worst part, Ryan, is they let them play hockey tonight.
Wow.
Wow. That was the rant of all rants.
The red has just finally left Clarkie's cheeks from that rant. It's you finally returned to your regular pale complexion.
Thank you. You know what? Like that was a tough night, and as doubt. I predicted, they didn't.
Can I ask you after that though? After that game, were you going into the Game 7 going, they're losing? Like, had you given up? Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even though
I don't blame you, I just wondered genuinely.
Yeah, that was their chance. I kept thinking that was their chance, and they didn't do it. And just like against the LA Kings in '92, like they had a chance in Game 6, and Doug Gilmour get high stick by Gretzky and no call.
Yeah, what's up with the Game 6s?
Right,
yeah,
I know
they've got like a Game 6 curse or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
This is their next year, the 2023. It's their year.
Yep. He says wearing New York Rangers gear.
That's okay. Is the show over yet?
Yeah, the show's almost over. Obviously, World Cup ended. Messi won. You referenced soccer in that rant.
I did.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
It's very poignant. I'm happy for Messi. I outside of that, I don't care. I thought the tournament was one of the most obviously marred, if you want to call it that, sporting events ever. The sport washing there was just gross.
Yeah.
I never want to see a World Cup held at this time of year ever again. I just thought it was a joke, but I feel good for Messi. He's a legend. He's done so much for the sport. Good for Leo. Pretty wild year, and that was the better rant. I think that there's still a dent in your desk, but
it's a glass desk, and it's amazing it didn't break.
Yeah, you gave it a pretty good whack.
It was genuine. Like that was like
you were mad.
That was me after, with the boys after the game, and it just happened to be a camera on, and it sucked. It really sucked the way that all came together.
Worst. Yeah. It's crushing when that happens to your team, man. It's the worst. Like the only thing that I can think of close to that where I was that mad was the helmet catch. Patriots Giants.
I just wish it hadn't have been any controversy. Like if they had just lost,
sure,
fine,
yeah, it's
right?
the worst.
But
when
to
it's
not call those things and then call like they were 5-on-3 in overtime in Game 6, 5-on-3.
Yeah,
like, come on.
It's the worst when it's marred by controversy.
And then a phantom call. I thought Game 7. Justin Hall getting called interference for a play that, Tavares scores a goal.
Oh, yeah, the pick play. Yeah.
Like it happens 20 times a game and it's not called. And no, it's going to be called here for sure. Anyway. All right. That was fun, though. That was a nice little
it was
instigating year in review.
It was fun. And you referenced it in the clip as well. Producer Adam has it. Producer Adam always has it. Props to producer Adam. He puts the show together every week for us, so that our viewers on YouTube and, of course, Whiteman can watch it. Props to him, and props to everybody for listening to the show, watching the show. We've been getting a lot more views and listens and downloads lately. We really appreciate that.
Please subscribe.
Spread the word, subscribe. Every little bit helps. I do want to make one last little announcement here. Our buddy Jake Bullen-Moss from Coolbet, our great key sponsor, has a couple NFL picks for the weekend. We're getting near the playoffs here.
Yeah.
He's got a couple picks to toss out here for the weekend. Jake's the best. He's the expert. He likes Lions 2.5. How about the Lions? They might make the playoffs. The Detroit Lions.
Wow.
In the year of our Lord, 2022, they might make the playoffs, Clarky. Detroit. Wow. There's hope for your Leafs. If the Detroit Lions can make the NFL playoffs, my God, the Leafs can win the cup. He likes Steelers 2.5 and Giants Vikings over 48 points. I like that one too. The Vikings. How about that? The 33-0 comeback. Jeff Saturday, my God, is and I feel bad for Matt Ryan. He's on the worst comeback loss in Super Bowl history, and he's on the wrong side of the worst regular season comeback loss in NFL regular season history. How about that? But yes, we appreciate everybody listening to and watching the show. Remember, you can watch this show. Oh, go ahead, Clarky.
Can I take it off? Is it?
Yeah, you can take it off before we get you off camera.
I definitely
go back to normal.
Filled the bet with honor.
You did? Yes.
There we go.
We're done now.
There we go.
We're done now. Okay.
We're done.
Are you good?
I'm good now. Thank you very much, Ryan, to you and Kate and your families. Merry Christmas and have a great new year, and we'll see you in the new year.
Yes, you too, sir. And same to producer Adam. All right. Remember, everybody, you can watch this show Friday nights at 8, Sunday nights at 9 with our friends on Whiteman TV. That is channel 6. For Whiteman subscribers, we debut on our YouTube channel every Friday night at 9. Follow us on social media at Instigating Pod. Thanks again to our great sponsors, Coolbet Canada, the Listowel Squash Courts, Listowel Vision Care, and seat the game. I'm Ryan Drury for Clarky, producer Adam, and all of our great viewers and fans out there. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. We'll see you in 2023.